Hi, my name is Mitra. I'm a servant. I serve through teaching, coaching, consulting, or any other way that I can find to share what I know with those who want to know. And this Lights On podcast is one of those ways. It was created with consciousness and mindful living in heart. So join us as we travel through many roads of learning and transformation together. And if you enjoy our podcast, please give us feedback by rating us 5-star and share us with others if you think they may benefit from it. On behalf of my team, I thank you for your presence. This episode is about mindful decision making. And what is interesting that this topic and this question came up when I was teaching a class about internal boundaries. And you would think, like, what's boundaries got to do with decision making? But the reason I brought it up in that context, in that class, was because I believe and I witness that many of our challenges in making timely decisions or comfortable decisions or even right decisions these days in this modern life is too much access to information. There was a time, and I was alive and working at that time, or at least studying, that lack or scarcity of information was a challenge. But now that there is information available everywhere, abundance of information, we need to have ways to work with this abundance of information. So if making decisions is a challenge for you, or if you are simply interested in knowing perhaps a more comfortable and more doable way of decision making, this episode may be of interest to you and also may be of service to you. So let's take a listen together and see if this serves you. One of the reasons that decision making has become such a huge problem in this day and age is because of availability of information and choices and unlimitedness almost of the choices we have. So in order to make a decision, I need to divide it into outwardly aspect of the decision making and the inwardly aspect of it. So what is outwardly? Outwardly, first is the information. When I was growing up, information finding was a challenge. So we had to somehow get to the library or to that, place, ascertain the information, make copies, and then come back home, right? So the availability of information was problem. Now, the problem is how do I, and I'm sure pretty soon there will be a service provided for choice making. Just watch the app coming out. An app that tells you, tell me 3 things about you, I'll tell you which channels to watch. Tell me 5 things about you, and I find you the pants that you want to buy. And this will be out soon. But you don't need to wait for the app. You have all the app inside of you. In fact, you have things that no app can give you. And that is awareness. It's a different A. So information gathering outwardly is one. And then limitation and stopping of information, boundaries, borders, lines for information. That could be in so many ways. I can say, I'm going to spend 1 day on research and that's it. So it could be time-wise. Or it could be quantity-wise. I say, once I know about 5 different, say I want to buy a car. Once I research these 5 cars, then I'm going to make a decision. But I'm giving it a line. I'm saying after this, I'm going to stop. And that's a very important aspect of outwardly thing. And now let's go inwardly. Inwardly, I need to really look at perfectionism and give up on a perfect choice. I can look for the best choice possible. What is the difference? Perfect is an illusion, meaning there is something out there that has nothing wrong with it, and it will satisfy me for a long time or forever. So I'll be very disappointed or chasing an illusion, so I will never make a decision. But the best I can do takes into consideration my human limitations. When I say best, I'm saying, okay, in case of the car, best of my budget, best of what's available in the city I live in, best of what I can, access. So best says you are human. There is no perfect, but there's a best for you with your conditions and with your intentions. And also there's time limit to that. Like, I mean, I'm sure a wonderful car will come out in January of 2022, but it may not be available to me right now. So the best of what's available, humanly available to me right now. Okay. And this perfectionism disease that has been born in this recent years is something that almost people are proud of. So when I say to somebody, are you a perfectionist? They say yes. But there's this like pleasantness, like that means I'm so good and I'm perfectionist. And that's part of the problem, that we associate chasing an impossible, an illusion with something that we feel good about. Hence, we won't let it go. But when I understand that part of my suffering is that illusion of perfect, then I will give it a rest and I will focus on the best for me. So looking at perfectionism and seeing what is, missing in there. And the other aspect of inwardly part of the decision making is, what is my intention? This is something that people never ever ask for major decisions. Even for like big decisions. I was asking, actually, it was last week, I think. I asked somebody who wanted to get married. They're preparing. And I saw something happening between them. And I separately asked them. I said, why are you getting married? And I remember he was the first one. He said, well, what do you mean? I said, why do you want to get married? He said, I love this person. I said, I know. I love my mother too. Why are you getting married? He had never thought about it. I said, that's very important. Why do you want to get to a formalized relationship? Tell me. Because that's maybe where you're all both going wrong. One wants companion. One wants a provider. Well, there's a problem unless they do match. So why do I want a new car? Why am I making this decision? And that determines and helps the process of decision making. So if I want this car to just travel, like, ground traveling, well, that's a different car. If I want it for going to work, which is not far, that's a different car. I'm not saying it's always that clear, but I'm saying once you ask that question, you get clear on decision making inwardly. So these are the two aspects of inwardly decision making. There's another one that sounds funny, but it's one of the best ways that I know I make decisions. And I do it especially with my clients. I don't know if I have one. I pick a coin and I say, okay, head or tail. They say, what? Because they're expecting this like wise, insightful, like method of decision making. I said, I want to toss a coin. They say, well, that's how you want to help me? I say, yeah, I'm going to do it. As I'm doing it, I say, which one do you wish would be true? And they say, oh, head. I say, there's your decision. I don't need to toss the coin. That clarifies what you wish for. So you say, tail is this, head is this. Okay. I won't do it. I'll do it. I buy this. I buy that. I go with this. I go with that. And the one that you wish, because that's when you are going, if you look at that process, it's so amazing. It's the inner wish that I may have not
accessed. So I said, I want this, I want that. But the last minute, it's the coin. It's going to determine my decision. I said, oh, I hope this comes. Okay. Then that's your inner, deeper wish and desire for this, whatever decision you're making. So that's a tool that it's not very sophisticated, but really works for some reason.
Hope this episode answered the question or two for you, or provoked and inspired questions in you. I'm so grateful you showed up and listened up. Until the next time, be well and stay curious.